What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Wednesday Privy training. I appreciate all of you guys that have made it onto the live so far. This is our third episode. So, over the past few weeks, what we've done has been finding buyers and identifying them with Privy, and then we've been able to go in and identify where the deals are. Today's emphasis, I really wanted to make sure to make it a point for you guys that I'm going to be calling agents today. I think it's really valuable for us to be able to see what these conversations look like, how to identify deals, and then more importantly, how we can use a software like Privy to get these deals consistently. So we've used Privy to get deals in multiple markets throughout the entire country, and we are ecstatic about what we can share with you guys. The reason Benson and I started this show was because we wanted to make it a point to be able to show everybody that there's deals out there. Some of the limiting beliefs that come around on market deals and working with agents is that first off, there's no deals on the MLS. Second, which is my favorite, is that buyers don't buy on the MLS. So with Privy, what I utilize is first off, I can squash the main limiting belief that there's no buyers out there. The second one is that there's no deals. What I want you guys to understand about being able to identify your buyer first is that this is pretty much the key part of the entire strategy. What a lot of times is taught is to go and just talk to agents. That's great. But if we're not going to really talk about what happens next, we're not really doing the job the right way. So today I want to pick a market. I want everybody here in the comments to let me know what market you guys want to see today. Feel free to just comment below what market you guys want to see me go into. And that's the key here. So if this is your first time watching this, or if you're watching the replay, every week I'm going live in a different market. This is not scripted. This is kind of just on the fly because first off, I knew there was a need in the marketplace for people to see this done live and in action. I've done this on some challenges and stuff, but I think it's really cool for us to be able to show what we do on a daily basis for you guys live. So I'm making it a point to try to go in and do this a little bit more often. And then on top of that too, with not having a market picked beforehand, I obviously can't script this. So if I find a deal, I'm going to pass it along to whoever's out there in that market. And aside from that, if you guys have any questions or anything, this is an interactive show. Today, Benson is getting ready for, they're doing a 3-day challenge starting today at 12 p.m. So if you guys are like, Ryan, what's going on? Arizona's not in one of those time zones. It doesn't make sense. So what I will tell you is that Benson is going to be putting on a 3-day challenge that is going to be immense value, talking about how to utilize Privy. And I would highly advise you guys check it out. It will be running right after this call today. So with that said, I wanted to start it off today with it just being me kind of jumping into a little bit of a presentation. So if that's cool with you guys, this is something that I actually shared with my Diamond students and agent investors at our mastermind. This was last November. So I thought it'd be cool to share that with you guys as well. And if you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to drop comments and I will make this as interactive as possible. So with that said, let's go ahead. Okay. Share screen. I'm going to go through this relatively quickly as well. Okay. So with agent outreach training, let's make sure we understand the basics before we jump into this. The first thing, guys, who I am, 34 Holdings, was formed back in 2018. We've done over 250 transactions with this strategy specific of working with real estate agents and on-market deals. As you guys can see, you guys can read along with me here. Acquisitions are the backbone of your entire wholesale operation. If you do not know how to acquire deals, you will not be able to go in and do this business. More importantly is that if you can obtain the ability to acquire deals, you have a skill set that nobody could take away from you. If you can't source deals, your business is at risk of failure, especially in a shifting market. So right now, there's a lot of change going on. For those that are active in the market, the last 15, 16 days have actually been really good. We've been seeing buyers on the traditional side come back. We've seen sellers have a little bit more understanding and reason. We've had agents have the same thing, understanding and reason. But we see buyers that are out there that are buying investment properties again. The next part, this is something that I even struggle with myself, but this is control what you can control. Understanding that, again, kind of tying into the next one, limit the variables. There are some variables that are out of your control, meaning that if the seller doesn't need to sell the house, there is no motivation. If there is no motivation, don't waste your time. The end of the day, what I always like to use as an analogy is that there's like it's when you go to the doctor's office and there's like all those little shapes. There's the one kid that has the triangle shape in his hand and he's over there trying to jam the triangle shape inside the circle hole. It's the same analogy for deals. If you can't understand that, I need you to wrap your head around the fact that we are deal finders, not deal creators. Brent Daniel says it all the times. And I want you guys to know it is 100% the truth. At the end of the day, there are some variables that you just can't get around. And if they're not motivated to sell, you can't force them to sell. you're looking for is, do they need to sell this house to another one? Are they already under contract on another house? Is there something involved in this transaction that is going to push them to where they need to go and sell? So, for example, shout out to a couple of my students, John and Steve. Was just on the phone with John prior to this, and they have a deal that they're getting off the MLS. It was listed at like 280, 290. He thinks he's going to get it in like the 250 range. And he got it based off the fact that the seller is going through one of the 3Ds: death, divorce, disease. They are disease. Unfortunately, stage 4 cancer. They need that. They need the funds from this transaction to be able to go in and pay for some medical treatment and probably get into like some kind of assisted living. That is a variable where that's in, I don't want to say our favor because it's not an advantage here, but in their situation specific, we can come in and solve the problem, which is that this person needs the funds from the house to sell. So now, growing your sphere, this is something I'm just going to kind of briefly go over. Pinpoint prospects, gain insights, connect quickly. If you guys can understand utilizing social media to find potential real estate agent relationships, that's where we get most of ours. The next thing, which is where we utilize Privy, is gaining insight. At the end of the day, this entire thing is data. I don't go around, I don't try to pretend that like there's a specific secret sauce or anything like that. I'm a 25-year-old that just started calling people. What I go off of is motivation and data. If you could see where the data lies, it's kind of easy to pinpoint what a deal is exactly. Aside from that, as you can see me going over the slides, the next part is connect quickly. Let's go. Last option for acquisition, agent outreach. If they are not going to take my deal, if you guys see what I do on every single call, I spin it in a way to where I'm looking for that to be a relationship to where they could bring me deals. This is a KPIs. I'll just kind of highlight quick: 250 texts per person per day, 50 conversations per day, 5 offers or 10 LOIs per person per day. The next one is 2 social media posts per week. The money's in the follow-up. The deal that we just referenced with my students, they were able to get that deal through follow-up. And this is some of the reasons as to why you wouldn't. So why don't people follow up? There's a fear of rejection. They feel as if they're appearing desperate. They don't want to seem pushy or annoying. Or more importantly, and this is the one I really emphasize on this, is that you don't believe in your product. And in this business, the product is yourself. It's your services. So if you don't believe in it, and if you're not confident in it, you're not going to have success with it. Reasons why you should follow up. Why would we do this on the contrary? Well, you're helping people that need your service. So the reference I just mentioned a minute ago about the guy having cancer, that's a very unfortunate situation. He needs the money from this transaction to be able to help him. We are helping them out by giving them a cash offer. Where we are deal finders, not creators, is that they can't get the price they were listed for at 280 or 290. What we can do is we can give them a price that's comfortable where we think we could wholesale it out, still make a profit, and everybody wins in the transaction. This is another reason why you should follow up. It creates discipline, which creates structure and routine, which more importantly creates financial income. I mean, we're looking for money to come in here, and this is why we're all in this business. It's why we've got over 100 people watching this live every Wednesday. Next is long-term relationships are formed, and that's your referral business. The last part, obviously, like I said, is that you make money. That is the beauty behind this. So I wanted to jump into that first because I think it's important for us to be able to emphasize just the foundation being that agent outreach is done through the MLS listings as well as the text going out. I understand a lot of us here don't have time. We might have 9-to-5 jobs, or we're trying to figure this out while doing something else, different hobby, whatever it is. So in this case, if you don't have the right foundation, you're not going to be able to get up and off the ground running without having this before we get started. So with that said, I use Privy. We use it primarily for out-of-state markets or for private states. Now that it is in Phoenix, we've been messing around with it. Full transparency, I haven't had anything pop up yet, but I think it's just because in Arizona, there is just so much competition. Where we get a lot of the deals in Arizona sent to us is through agent relationships that we have formed, and those people just bring us the deals before they go on market. Aside from that, as for MLS listings, there's some strategy behind it, but what I love to go after primarily right now is days on market or keywords. If you can understand keywords being motivation, that is going to be the best advantage I can give you outside of the days on market, because that's obviously just showing that there's a little bit of desperateness to get that sell. So with that said, let's jump into Privy. And I see the comments coming in. Guys, what market are we picking today? Oh my gosh, we have a bunch of people. What's going on, Scott? What's going on, Brittany? Got Patrick up in here. All right, so I'm seeing Indianapolis, Nashville. I'm seeing Wisconsin, Charlotte, Washington, D.C., Vegas, Mesa. What market are we doing today? I saw a bunch of people also, too, in my Discord going crazy. If you guys are not already in there, it is a free Discord community that I put it together just for people to go and collaborate and do deals together. New Jersey, we got California, we got Nashville again. All right, you guys, there is a bunch. All right, let's jump into the one I see pop up a few times is Nashville. So let's jump into that one. And then after that, we will jump into North Carolina. So first off, this is my dashboard. If it comes across like I'm still trying to figure it out, it's because I am probably the most, whatever the word is here, it's like I am the dumbest person when it comes to technology. I do not understand it and it does not understand me. So if you guys have any questions and I don't know the answer, we will make sure to write it down for Benson for next week. I start off by typing the city that I'm going to go target because that is the easiest thing to do. Now from there, all I look at is this right here. Just as like a little side note, if you guys can see, this is a really good thing to point out. Properties found. There is 1,178. The filters right now are single family. These are active and past 6 months. So what I want to do is I want to be able to identify first off my buyers. We talked about that 2 episodes ago. If you haven't watched it, I highly recommend starting at episode 1. We are only on episode 3, so it's really not that far. But episode 1, we talked about buyers. Episode 2, we talked about identifying deals. Today on episode 3, I'm really going to deep dive into some of these conversations. And I'm going to try to get done with as many of them as possible. So I started off in Nashville. All I'm going to do is look around at bubbles. I want to see high numbers. It is this simple to me because I'm not the smartest guy in the world. So I see 57, 62, 64, 74. Okay, well, let's click on 74. The whole point of this is that it's going to pop up some sold listings. What I want to see from here, which this is not right, filter, sold, take off active, run search. We're right in here. See if there's anything good around here. And see, this is where it glitches out on me every now and then. So what I do is I just, of course, it's going to be like that. Nashville, Tennessee, filter. Okay. So up here is your little cheat sheet, fix and flip, tear down, buy and hold. The ones that I always go to between is basically fix and flip and buy and hold. The buy and hold is for anyone that's going to be going in and holding this property as a rental. A lot of hedge funds pop up in this one. Fix and flip is the one we all are pretty much going after. So if I click on fix and flip, now I could see a little bit of different numbers. Let's try this again. So 40. Okay, it looks like a little bit more of East Nashville up here. Zooming in, this should show me all the sold comps. Now, again, this is ARV is 75%. For those that put Nashville, what percentage of ARV are you guys seeing right now? Is it like 65%? Is it 75%? Because right now we're at 75 and it shows there's 73 properties available. What I want to do every single time, and there is no right or wrong way with this, what I always try to do is I try to keep this to be around like at least 50. The reason being is that if I know my outreach goal for the day is 50, obviously 50 agents aren't going to answer their phone if I call 50 listings. But what will happen is that I will hopefully get at least 50% of them, meaning there's 25 people that answer. So by the time I'm done with this, if I haven't already gotten out a few offers, I then only have to go in and submit or have 25 other conversations. I mean, if you're doing this the right way and you have follow-ups to be done, you're really only making 5 to 10 other conversations aside from your follow-ups. So with that said, there's no comments of ARV. You guys, this is an interactive show, so let's get this going. But what I will say here is that filter, let's just move it down to 65%. It's a safe number to go off of right now with the market that we are in. So sold, single family, ARV 65%. The only other thing I really change is that I like to do past 6 months. If you can, past month is fantastic. Like let's even check past month because 30 days or less will be a great thing to go off of. I don't want to see $1 million. Okay. So now we have basically got this down to 13. That is much better. All right. Patrick said 65% for cosmetic, 50% for full rehab. Thank you, bro. Appreciate it. So we see 239, 282. So let's go ahead and we're at 65. The point of this to start is to find buyers. So I want to find someone that looks like it was remodeled. This one looks like it was repainted. That's nice. Based off the photos, you could see this was a nice remodel, 2-bed, 1-bath, 600 square feet. Scroll down here. There is no comparables. This is a new thing they just added in. If you click settings down here, you can basically move out your comps. In this case, because I'm not seeing anything around here, I don't even want to bother. I could see they bought this and it didn't actually look like it wasn't even painted. They just probably redid the interior. Now, this is the key part though. They bought it at 52%. So Patrick said right here, 65% for cosmetic, 50% for full rehab. Okay, well, this one was at 114,900. So I'm really bad at math, but if you take 239.9 times by 52%, it should come out to that 114,900. So with that said, and yeah, you guys can see all that. Perfect. With that said, my most important thing here, and this is kind of the difference between what I teach and what Benson teaches here. Some people like to go directly to the buyer. I like to go to the agent. The reason I go to the agent directly is because if they flipped one property and they represented them, the odds of them wanting to go and buy another are pretty high. So if I were to find a market where, let's say that if I even bump this up to 70%, it should pop up a little bit more. All right. Come on. We're going to go 71 because it's not working with me. And there's just not much out there right now. Now, from there, what I would recommend is sorting it by days on market, and then also by the sort results of when it sold recently. So this one, for example, I could tell looks like it's a little bit of a new build. Let's take a look here. Nice, beautiful. So now we've got under contract at 400. We are 1,040 square feet, 2.2. This one is 1,086 square feet, 3.2. All right. We got 389, 390. So this one sold. It might have even been a little underpriced, honestly. It's probably because we were missing an extra bedroom. But in this case, if this property was bought in this condition right here, this is the kind of example I'm looking for. So the reason I'm also happy we picked Nashville is just like what Alan said here. Nashville's tough. The thing that is fully transparent is that every market right now is tough. What I will tell you is that if you can withhold this right here, if you can stay through the market in this shift, you will be so much better off when the market comes back. Everything about real estate is cyclical. It's a matter of time before it's going to boom. Right now, the interest rates are getting worse. And I'm talking to more realtors right now that have buyers getting pre-qualified than ever before. I mean, one of my buddies has 88 deals under contract right now with his team. It's just insane. And I'm not a realtor. I have like 2 or 3 buyers right now that are under contract or pre-approved, and I'm not a realtor. So it's just weird timing. Typically, investment goes down, traditional goes up, and traditional will hit a weird point too in the next couple of months, in my opinion. The Fed's saying that rates should get a little bit better here, hopefully by summertime, but we will see. So, just to clarify too, Cody, great question. With the text, that is total. It's total amount of texts out. I'm not going in and sending 250 texts to one agent specific. This is 250 texts to agents outbound trying to build relationships with them. And a lot of people then end up saying to me, like, well, Ryan, that doesn't make sense. Like, how are you going to end up getting 250 texts out per day? You're going to run out of realtors. There's other markets, one. And two, I promise you, you will not run out of realtors. In our database, we've got just over 3,100 realtors that we are talking to consistently. And that's with there being about 40,000 in Arizona. So anyway, back to this example. What I wanted this to be, which is exactly what we were looking for, is that the first limiting belief that I said we're going to squash is that there's buyers that don't buy off the MLS. Right here, you can see an MLS number on this property. So this property that MLS, whatever that, RTC 2317823, means that this buyer bought this property directly from the MLS. So if you're going to believe there's no deals out there, one, that's wrong. Two, is that we have a buyer that is willing to purchase off of the MLS. So now if I were to work with this agent or with the buyer directly, I get to eliminate the fact that I know that they won't buy off the MLS because they've already done it based on what I could see. This is what I meant by the data is here. You can't lie with the data. So now we know, okay, they bought off the MLS. The next thing I look at is the percentages. So they sold it for 320. They bought it for 100,000. So everyone grab your calculator. 320,000 times by 69% of the ARV. It's 220 right there. He made 100,000. So their price is 69% of the ARV is 220 right there. So 220,800 is what he bought it for. Well, you guys bought it for flat 220, but they made 320 on this. Now, this is the only thing that concerns me. Sorry to get like a little specific on this, but construction time, 327 days. Hold time was 398 days. I'm going to either make an assumption that this was a rental for a little bit and they kept the tenant in there, or what they ended up doing was they had to go in and renovate this property, and it just took a little bit longer than what they expected. Typically, fix and flips, you need to be in and out of these things in 2 months or less. So now we are going to call this agent. This one up here, I always have to forget. If I go down here, you guys won't be able to see all this information if you're not an agent. There's two different privies here. There is those that are licensed agents and those that are investors. If you're an investor that's not licensed, unfortunately, they can't just give away information to the agents. If you're here watching my live and you see the information, you're welcome. But what I will tell you is that if you're looking for their information, it is as simple as this right here. Sold by Eddie Cox. Search Google. The next thing that pops up, which let's see if it shows, share this tab. Eddie Cox, Benchmark Realty, 615-429-7572. Now let's take a look again down here. Eddie Cox, 429-7572. So listing agent mobile phone, that's our guy. So now in this case, let's take a look. 2713 Vance Avenue, Eddie Cox, 2-bed, 2-bath. Let's get the story on this property. 429-7572. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
Hi, this is Eddie Cox, your real estate consultant for life. Please leave me your name and your phone number, and I'll reach you back as soon as I can, usually within a few minutes. If you want a quicker response, you can either send me a text or email me to eddie@eddiecox.net. Hope you're having a great day, and I'll speak to you soon. Thank you very much.
At the tone, please
I'll show you guys what the voicemail is like too.
When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, what's up, Eddie? My name is Ryan. I'm an investor out in Arizona, taking a look at some properties out in Tennessee. Saw a property out on Vance Avenue. It looks like you'd sold. Just wanted to see if you had any investors who were looking to buy some more properties, or if you had anything else like this that I could take a look at myself. Give me a shout back. I would appreciate it. Thanks. And then also, too, I'd add in my phone number. That is something that I don't want to do here on the live, but what I would recommend is that you guys always leave your number, try to come across as personable as possible. The other parts of that too, there is no script. What I want you guys to understand, this is my infamous line, is that the hardest part of being an agent is to find a client. The hardest part of being the investor is to find a deal. The hardest part of being the agent is to find a client. What he's going to do now is he has someone that's interested in purchasing real estate. What he should do is call me back ASAP and get to going. So for example, there was a deal that I had out in Illinois, and it was my grandmother's house that we're selling. And so I was calling around a bunch of agents that I was finding on Google. And unfortunately, it was like the hardest thing in the world. And what I was like blown away by was that the hardest part of being the agent is to find the client. I was trying to give away a listing for free. Finally, by the time I found someone that specialized in that area specific that had a listing live, that was the agent that could help me out. So one tidbit as a tip that I would recommend is that if you're looking in a specific area, find the active homes that are available in there, call the agents and ask if they have anything else coming up in that specific area. So there's a few questions in here I'm going to address really fast. Jesse said, so you call the agent instead of using open corporates to find the buyer. Do the agents know the buyer's buy box down to a T? It's very 50-50, right? Like, do the agents know the buyer's buy box down to a T? Some agents don't even realize that their buyers are wholesalers. So what I do is I always like to just try to go to the masses rather than like the sniper approach when I'm building relationships. That's why I talk with agents directly, is because if the hardest part for the agent is to find the client, what happens if I reach out to one agent that has 500 clients? Okay, well, I mean, that's probably a really busy agent, but if they have an investment part of their division of the team, they probably have between 10 to 50 investor clients. So the reason is that if I can build a relationship with them and it could show that, one, I'm a buyer, two, bring me properties. Two, if I have a property sent to me that I can't sell, rather than going to another wholesaler who just has probably the same buyers list as you, or just throws it on a software that sends it out to a bunch of different buyers, I would rather go to an agent that has qualified buyers, because what I'm going to tell myself is that the agents that work with buyers have already qualified them out. Most agents, if you guys haven't seen already, by the time you go and work with them, what's the first thing they ask for? Aside from your buy box, what can I see your proof of funds? Can I see your qualification? If you're not qualified to go buy houses or go look at properties, they're not going to work with you. So it's the same philosophy here. What I like to work with is the agents, because if they can go and bring me a client, So like this one right here was sold by this guy, Eddie Cox. He was the listing agent. The other part of this is that I could go to the buyer's agent. Now, the only downfall in this part is that the buyer's agent right here, Key Adams. Okay. If I call this number, the person that bought this property because it was renovated is more likely going to be a primary house buyer. So if this person bought this house with this person as the buyer's agent, this agent probably just represented a client that wanted to move into this house and make it their home. So all that said, what I would recommend is calling the listing agents for the properties that are sold. This does a few things because if this one was fixed and flipped, they represented the investor. So whether they are the investor or the contractor or they just have the relationship with them, what happens when this person sells a house? And I'm talking about the investor here. When they sell the house, they need another property to go and buy. The name of the game with fix and flips is not just speed, it's keeping your crews busy, because the minute your crews aren't busy, they're out working for somebody else. A lot of times I have friends that actually go out there and they'll keep their crews busy by buying a property they might even break even on or lose a little bit, because it's better to keep your crews in the same rotation and structure rather than allowing them to go and work for your competitor. Megan, great question. How will that agent get paid? Do you offer them a percentage of your wholesale fee? Absolutely. That, or I offer them an assignment fee, that, or most agents are going to go off of like commission. They're going to go off 2.5 to 3%. But if I can bring them a deal and say, hey, I'm making 10, I'll give you 5, I'll give you 2,500, I'll give you 3, whatever that amount is, that's better than nothing. It's a deal that they wouldn't have gotten if it wasn't for me. Now, if they're bringing in the buyer, split it down the middle, go 50-50, just because they have a key piece that you're obviously needing. So great questions. Clarification here, Laura. When I say I'm not a realtor, I typically don't work with clients like buying and selling anymore. I'm mostly on the investment side. But all that said, I make jokes like when I am a realtor, because I'm not. So I am a licensed real estate agent. I'm under the National Association of Realtors and all that fun stuff. So now in this case, what I'm trying to find is going to be a buyer, because I want to show you guys, we tried to mess around with it last week, but it just didn't really go too well. I want to actually get someone that answers on here. So now, just to show you guys again, we're going to search this, share this tab. And the funny thing is too, if you guys caught this, Benchmark Realty is the same one that Eddie Cox worked for. So let's just take a guess here that this person didn't answer. What we're going to do instead here, I'm going to show you guys something different. Let's go ahead and find an agent with this. We could go in and say agents. This is just a little bit of a sidetrack, not to get too far off of Privy. Agents, search for realtors. Call these numbers. This is what I was doing trying to find a realtor. You're probably going to catch the receptionist. Hey, my name is Ryan. I'm an investor out here in Arizona, making my way out to the Nashville market. I'm trying to find an agent that can help me out. Do you have anyone that specializes in working with investors? So that's how I would handle that. Jump back over to Privy. Present your screen. Privy. Perfect. Okay. So now we have this person right here, Bethany. We are going to call her and see, because in this case, we're going to look at the data. Okay. We got a bunch of properties around here. They sold theirs at 410. These ones sold 2022, but ours sold 2023. Okay, so that makes sense. 425, 425. That means that our property went down in value just like everybody else's did. Now here we go again. Public records. They bought this direct. They cleaned it up. They made it a little more modern. They bought it at 200, sold it for 410. Construction hold time, again, it was pretty crazy. Days on market was 103, but it looks like they got their price. If I had to make a guess just based on these numbers, I don't think they made money, but that is okay, because a lot of people, myself included, did not do well with the market shift. 615-509-7994. Great question so far today, guys.
Hey, this is Bethany. I can't come to the phone. Leave me a message.
Oh, agents.
At the tone,
Agents,
please
agents,
record
agents.
your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hey, Bethany, it's Ryan Zolin. Calling about a property that you had sold out in Nashville on New York Avenue. I see that it looked like it was remodeled and it was fix and flipped. I'm coming across a few opportunities myself that I'm an investor in, so I'm just trying to figure out exactly what to do with these properties. If you can just give me a call back, my number is 480-612. You guys see how I did that there? I muted it there at the end. Got you guys, but you could probably find my number. I left my number on that one. I also changed the script, said, hey, I've come across some properties, wanted to see what to do with them. The whole point is to get them to call me back. In this case, too, it's also to show you guys the efficiency is in making calls. A lot of times people will celebrate submitting an offer or two in a day, and that's fantastic and it's great. What I want to talk about is the efficiency behind the strategies that we teach. So it's not just going in and making calls, it's submitting offers on top of that too. So if we're going and doing money-making activities, which is what I consider our green time, if you're going and putting as much green time in a day as possible, it's going to happen. So like, for example, the last like week and a half, we've gotten close to 5 deals between MLS, traditional, wholesale, which is MLS, but through agent outreach. Like we have all of our strategies coming together and we've gotten a handful of deals in just the last week. So it's all about, what's that saying? It's like the harder you work, the luckier you get. It's a very true saying, but also it's about green time. It's not just luck at this point. It's going in and it's our KPIs. We talked about it a minute ago. The 250 texts, that's if you're going text model. If you're going and making calls, what I'd recommend is first probably transition to text because agents are a little more receptive to that. But also too, if we're telling you 250 is what's going to get it done in a day, understanding out of 250 outbound messages, our real goal out of that's 50. So we're talking 50 conversations per day, 5 offers per day. And then on top of that, one other KPI I didn't really add in there is that I want to at least find 1 buyer per day. At the peak of the market, we were adding a bunch of buyers, but everyone was a buyer. And then also as the market shift happened, what ended up happening is that we made it a goal to go add 5 buyers per person per day on my team. We found out very quickly, not only was that unreasonable, but it wasn't realistic because most buyers weren't buying at the time. So what we transitioned to, which made it a lot easier for us to comprehend, was 1 buyer per day added to our database. If we're adding 1 buyer in and we're actually qualifying them out and they are legitimate, it's going to be a snowball effect at a certain point when you can connect the piece between a deal you find and a buyer that you know is actually qualified. Not to go too much down the rabbit hole, but what I am going in and giving you guys as like a gold nugget here for qualifying buyers is the same thing I tell my diamond tier students. How to qualify buyers is a few things. Number 1, you have to know their buy box. Number 2, you have to have their proof of funds or their any kind of letter that shows exactly that they're qualified. The next part here, this is the most important. You have to see their last few deals. There's nothing wrong, especially if you're an investor too, that you're like, Ryan, I've got some cash. I'm trying to buy a deal, like legitimately. That's okay. Don't lie. So when we ask people to see their last few deals, it's because we want to make sure that we're qualifying out the buyers. And if they are a wholesaler, I just want to know that. There's nothing wrong with wholesale because we wholesale too. But if you're going in and lying and saying you're a buyer when you're not, I don't want my deals that I'm sending out to people. Agents don't want their listings that they are saying that they're working with a buyer with to their client to fall apart because they didn't do their due diligence. So buy box, proof of funds, last few deals. Icing on the cake is if they have a website, any kind of testimonials, if they have anyone that will speak on their behalf that says, hey, this person is legit. So if you can find your buyers, that's the first part. The next part is finding the deals. In this case, because we're just going to pretend these agents did answer and I'm trying to find deals for you guys now, is that the next thing I'm going to do is click on deals, click on fix and flip. This goes back to 75. So I'm going to change the filter to just go 70. Got it that time. Okay. We're going to go there. Nope, I didn't click active. Okay. Now here we go. Fix and flip. 70% of ARV, single family home. Now at this point, what I'm going to do is I'm going to filter out sort by. So if you guys click on this button right here, sort results, sold date, or not sold date, oops, list date, my bad. Click the up. This will tell you properties that have been listed the longest. So now if you look, we'll see this one was listed 300 plus days ago. It's a 3-1. Now in this case too, this is telling me this should be at least 70% of the ARV. 3-1, 1,200 square feet. I'm looking for something a little bit better. So the reason I say that is I'm looking for this arrow right here. The arrow pointing down means that we have price reductions going on. Price reductions going on means that there's motivation to sell. Why would somebody drop the price of a property? It means agents are having a hard conversation with their seller. Sellers are coming to reason. The other part of it is that remembering what I'm saying is that the hardest part of being the agent is to find a client, hardest part of being the investor is to find the deal. What do you think happens to this agent if this property doesn't sell? They lose money because they've probably put money into marketing photos, putting a sign out front, the gas out to that property, headspace to have plenty of conversations with the seller, but they're not going to get paid. So not only are they not making money, they're probably losing money. The other part of it too is that if we understand that the seller's just trying to sell their house, the hardest part of being the investor finding the deal is finding someone that is first off willing to sell their property. So in this case, this person's not only willing to sell, they're now dropping the price. This is a $52,000 price reduction off of a property on the MLS. How many times do you guys hear people say like you can't get a property, or even better, let's reword this. How many times do you hear an agent say no low ball offers? Don't give me anything under X amount of price under the list price, and it's like usually 20 or 30K, and you're like, well, my offer is gonna be like 100K under list price. This one right here is half of that. A lot of the deals we're getting under contract right now are $75,000 to $150,000 off their list price. The example I mentioned earlier with my students that got the deal, that's a $50,000 off list price offer. In this case, there's something going on because my first thought of this photo is that that's not bad. So I don't see baseboards, but that's fine. I mean, in Arizona, we have baseboards, but the kitchen looks good. I don't know what's going on here. There's a problem. I don't know if this is just overpriced or what, but we will get to the bottom of it. So what this is saying is always look at the blue on here. The investor comp is at 575. Now I love this because this is not outside of our neighborhood. This is not across any major streets or anything like that. We see 348. I see 460. I see 399. I see 575. My question is what's going on here? The first thing, and this is what we call situational awareness, is that 348, I know I can't turn around and put this back on the market at 350. So my ARV is more likely 300 to 325. So that's the start. The 575 is what I want to look at next. So we see a 3.2, 1,025 square feet, and now we see a 3.2, 1,050 square feet. Year built is 1959. Year built was 1957. Let's take a step further. I need to see this photo. What's going on with this property? For those that are following along in Nashville too, tell me your thoughts because there's some of these that I'm going to be like, what the heck? This is a beautiful remodel from what I can tell. And I love that this popped up as like one of our comps. This is why it popped up as an investor one. So two parts here is that let's say that we got this deal under contract and it needed a little bit more work. The first thing I would do is I would find out who was the buyer's agent that represented their client in this transaction. Because if they have a buyer that's looking in this area specific, why wouldn't they have another buyer specific for this property too? A lot of agents call this just like prospecting, but in this case, most agents don't do this part. So now I can identify 575 that I would say is a pretty darn good match. Now this one sold. Let's take a look here. Sold on 8/16/2022, so it might be part of it. Let's take a look at this one. 460, 42950 square feet. What is going on with this property? There's something about this one, but I like this. So 348, 399. First off, we got to identify what our ARV is. This is the other part of this too, is that our property. Interesting. Very interesting. So they bought it off the MLS. Looks like it was in good condition. They buy this for? They bought it. That's it. That's why this thing isn't selling. So they bought it at 371. They're about to lose money. And this is unfortunate. This was a game that a lot of people played in the space of the investing. They went in and they bought properties betting on appreciation. So the other part of this too that I'm not sure I understand is that it shows the square footage got cut in half. So I'm not sure. Maybe this is just half the property. There's a little bit more to unpack on this. Let's take a look here. Let's call the agent. Listing courtesy of. So you take this, you just Google it. And here, I'm just going to go here. I'll show you guys. Make sure you guys see this too. Okay. We're just going to check out, make sure that we are right here. Listing agent. This is so wild. This listing agent has a 480 number. That's Arizona, for those of you that don't know. 694-1515. Let's call him. Yeah, Marcus, it doesn't look like the same property at all.
Hello.
Hey, is this Rustin?
Yes, it is.
Hey, Rustin. My name is Ryan. I'm an investor out in Arizona, but I'm looking at a property you've got in Nashville on Northcrest.
Yeah.
Are you licensed in both states? Because I see you got a 480 area code.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is that property still available? I'm just trying to get to the bottom of it. I'm looking at some information and it isn't making sense to me.
Yeah. So it should be available if it's active on the MLS. It's one of our corporate. Since we buy homes typically for rent, but these we're just getting rid of a few homes that didn't meet our model here.
Sure, that makes sense. And it might just be my system, but it shows like the square footage. Was there any kind of like it shows like 2050 and it says 1025. Was it like split or something like that, or was it?
It could be an error.
Gotcha.
What I could do is refer you to our retail sales department. Let me see if I've got their info sign.
For sure. Yeah, I saw you guys just drop that the price on it, so that's why it hit my radar.
Yeah. Let me give you a phone number for a guy named Juan who's helping me with that one. It's office line is 512.
Yep.
601.
Yep.
5294.
Cool. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No problem, man. Thanks. Good luck.
So the point of agent outreach when you call people, and the reason I like to just get on the phone is because 1, that guy just gave me my contact. 2, that's 1 out of 50 for me. Some people may say like that one wouldn't count. I'm going to count it. I talked to the agent. Oh, come on, Juan. Bro, we're trying to do some deals live with people. What's up, Juan? Just talked to Rustin about the property out on Northcrest in Nashville. He referred me over to your number. Just trying to get some more information about it. I'm interested in purchasing it myself, but just had a few questions about the property. Give me a shout back. This is my cell. Thanks. Juan is fumbling some dollars, bro. It's okay. It's fine. We're gonna keep the positive mindset because that deal is gonna come to us. This is one everyone I would recommend writing down. Those of you that are in Nashville, make sure you write this one down too so you can follow along. Also, too, this is gonna be the fun part of this video series. The video we did a couple weeks ago, I can't name the exact address yet, but there's a property that there's a student or someone in my Agent Investors Discord that is probably going to be getting that deal. I don't want to name the address because I don't want anyone to go around them, but there's a deal that we were working on out in a specific Midwest market, and I'm pretty sure this deal is going to come to under contract here. If not today, tomorrow for sure. But that property, once they get under contract, should be a nice, easy sell to either a buy and hold investor or to a fix and flipper that wants to go in and renovate the property. So the point of these lives together is because I want to be able to pass along deals to you guys in your markets. Let's collaborate. Let's do some deals together. If you guys need help with those deals, feel free to hit me up. But the point of this is not for me to get deals. The point of this is for you guys to get deals. We are doing well out in the Phoenix market. We're doing well in Atlanta. We're doing well in North Carolina and Florida. Our primary market at the moment is Arizona. And for those of you that are out in the Arizona market, or even if you want to start out there virtually and you needed a buyer to work with, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram. I am more than happy to give you guys any number that you guys need for, like, for example, like we have a few students in our program that come to us and say, hey, Ryan, here's 123 Main Street. It's on the MLS at 275. I've been talking to the agent. I think I can get it at 240. Where would you need it? In this case, I would say, hey, I need this deal probably around like 190 to 200. I'll put up $5,000 non-refundable earnest money, and I can close in 10 days or when title is free and clear. So if you guys can go and utilize me as a buyer, or if you're in another market, that's the kind of relationships you're looking for with buyers. It takes time to build those relationships. With me, it took me years to be able to get to the point to where I could say, hey, I will put up non-refundable earnest money on every deal and I will commit to it. So even if I give you my number, I will close on that and I will make sure that we honor our word at the price point that we tell you so you guys can feel comfortable. Obviously, at the price we give you, go in and reverse engineer it. So anything you get below that is your assignment fee. Also, too, we will never go around you guys in the transaction. So finding a buyer like that is crucial. It takes time, takes trust, and also, too, it takes credibility on your end, too, where you're not just going in and sending them properties at list price and asking them to give you a number. Have some legwork, do a little bit of it up front, but that's the overall goal. And let me find here the banner. We have, agentinvestors.com/Discord. For those of you that are not familiar with this, I would highly recommend taking a look at our Discord community. It is 100% free. There is no sell or anything like that. But inside our Discord, this has agents, this has investors, this has wholesalers, this has buy and hold investors, this has title company reps, this has hard money lenders, private money lenders, there's construction people in there. We have pretty much all the relationships you're looking for. So when you go in, click on the welcome on the left-hand side, click on the rules, click the thumbs up. It might ask you to connect your wallet for crypto. Don't do that. That's for my students so they can verify to get access to some private channels. But inside that Discord, it's 100% free. It's all about collaboration. And I'm consistently going in there and answering questions throughout the day. So that is real-time activity. I would love for you guys to be a part of that. 100% free. And we've got some free resources and stuff that I constantly post in there. So would appreciate if you guys hop in that community. And if you have any questions, just let us know. On to the next deal. 533 North Crest Drive. I got it written down. I got an arrow drawn to that guy. We are going to put a 52K price reduction. And we are on to the next. Okay. And I just factored this again sorted it by days on market so that I could see a little bit longer. I want to see arrows going down. I don't want to see 1.3 though. Price went up. I don't want to see that. Here we go. This one looks to be remodeled. So this is it's a little bit on the higher price point. Let's see what else we got. $3.3. Okay. And remember, this should all be around our percentage of ARV we're looking for. What I'm trying to find, though, is ideally not a property that is fixed up like this, because what that's going to tell me is that it's just at list, or list is at ARV. Sorry. Elmhurst. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. Look at this, guys. Look at this. Tell me this is not insane. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so sorry. You guys cannot see my screen. Share this tab. There we go. Okay. Look at this. Elmhurst Avenue, 225,000. Look at what happened. What was that, 3 days ago? Guys, this is insane. They dropped it $125,000. And you guys didn't miss anything. I had Rustin pulled up. Shout out to Rustin. I mean, that guy just got some screen time. But no, on this, you guys didn't miss anything. All I did was show, I was scrolling through some properties. This is a property that needs some love, price improvement. I have not seen that in years. We see motivated sellers. So when I'm talking in that slideshow that I was showing you guys before I jumped into Privy, where I'm mentioning keywords on top of days on market, keywords is literally this: price improvement, motivated seller. This is a rare opportunity to own a profitable lot of land located in an up and coming area of the city. Sounds like a lot of fluff to get this deal done, and I respect it. Now we're on this side over here. We're going to see 386. Okay, so we got to basically tear this thing down. We see 435. Okay. The nice part is that we see there's a rental, and this property needs some love too. All right. 385 is going to be what I have to go off of, but we're at 21883. There are 22774. Based off of that, it's saying that we could go in and we should be able to get these properties, this property under contract. Now, the thing that I like is that I could see this dropped $125,000. Patrick, shout out to Rustin again. That dude, it's all good. You know, some people are just busy, and this is what I got to just tell myself is that at the end of the day, this is actually taught to me. Shout out to Jamil Damji. Astro flipping week one. I mean, everything around week one is mindset, and what they were able to instill in was a lot of abundance. So what I've been able to challenge this is that if they don't answer, agent outreach, the hardest part of it is that agents don't respond. So understanding that there's pros and cons to any strategy is crucial to start, but let's talk about it. So direct to seller, you're spending time, effort, energy, money, and you're probably getting told to F off a lot. As for agent relationships, they're not answering. So what would happen with the agents if they're not answering? Well, I'm going to tell myself that they're busy showing properties. They're busy prospecting houses. They're busy doing all of the work that it is. They're doing their green time. They're out showing properties, right? So in this case, it's okay. That's why you leave a voicemail. So what I always do too, I mean, some people recommend doing a double dial. There's hit and miss to that. What I'll tell you is that some agents have a pretty big ego. So what you don't want to do is piss them off to start. So in this case, what I want to do is I want to just become their friend. Even if it's not this deal, it's the next one. So in this case, listing courtesy of Bradford Real Estate, Thomas Miller. Let's take a scroll down here. Listing agent. We see Thomas Miller. We see his phone number. Let's call him 615-917-4158.
Hello?
Hey, is this Thomas?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Thomas. I'm calling about your property on Elmhurst Avenue. My name is Ryan.
Hey, Ryan, how are you doing?
No complaints. I appreciate you answering. I'm trying to find a deal to buy out in Nashville, and you're honestly the first agent that answered the phone.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, agents suck, Ryan. I'll be honest with you. Most of them, I have the same problem when I'm trying to call. I know we have people that I even know personally that list a property, and I'll call them within hours of it being listed, and like you can't get a hold of the whole day. You're like,
for sure. Oh, did I lose you there?
about Elmhurst, we just went under contract.
Just went under contract. Gotcha. I saw you guys drop the price over $100,000.
We certainly did. Yeah, we had. It's because of personal reasons with the seller. There's they've got something. They have a situation that they're dealing with, and we were trying to get the most money possible because that was going to go into a trust.
Okay.
But they needed to get as much money as they can right now, and we were hoping to wait a little bit longer, but we've run out of time there. So
sure.
That's the reason why we brought it down. But we had like 4 offers come in yesterday.
Gotcha.
Yeah, of course it was. We had it high anyway. We had it up there.
For sure.
So what are you looking for in particular, Ron?
I'm honestly trying to find a property just like this. I mean, anything that's distressed that needs some love that I can go in and do some renovations to, that's kind of what we're looking for. We've done it out in Arizona, and obviously the market shift happened and price points are still a little high over here. So we're kind of expanding out to some other markets at the moment.
Well, good. Nashville's a great place as far as the market goes in appreciation. From what we can tell, the Middle Tennessee should remain strong despite all of the shortcomings in the market. I know there's different places. It's gone. Things have gone down. Of course, that's good. That's better for investors.
Sure.
I would say in some instances, but I mean it will remain strong as far as resellability. It's good here. At least we expect it to be because of all we're continuing to get the same amount of influx of buyers from out of state as we have been. I'm a statewide agent. I've been working with out of state client buyers for the past 3 years. I do the whole state, and everybody wants to be in Middle Tennessee. They're still coming from everywhere, pretty much the same rate as they were 2 years ago.
For sure.
It really had it dropped off during the holidays, but I mean it came. January 2nd, it just exploded. We had more people reach out to me, more new buyers. I got more new buyers on January 2nd this year.
This is what I love about agents. Like, I'm just gonna let him do his thing, but like they talk. And in this case too, I mean, he's trying to qualify me out, but he's also trying to show that he's a professional, which is good. I mean, this is what we want to work with. At the end of the day, what I'm trying to find is a guy that can bring me a lot of opportunities. So I'm just gonna kind of like turn it down a little bit. Let this guy do his thing. Don't cut him off. The point is that you want agents to be able to feel whatever it is that makes them feel confident. And in this case too, not only is he qualifying me, I'm qualifying him. I want him to be able to go and do his thing. Not trying to be disrespectful or anything like that, but this is very normal. And if you're doing a lot of agent calls, he's still going. So that's the whole point of that. Melissa, that's it. Still going. Honestly, I feel like I want to be the easiest client that you've ever worked with. So what I'm looking for really as an investor is what I think most investors should say, but it's anything I can make money on. I'm open to buying some as rentals. I just want it to be like around a 10% return. And then as for fix and flip, anything that if I can make around 10% as to whatever the after repair value is. So if it's like a $350,000 house, 35 grand minimum profit.
That's really easy, Ryan.
Beautiful.
Why? That's the bare minimum.
That's
easy.
That's it.
Easy, because just about everybody I know is, man, they need 40%, or they ain't doing it.
Oh man.
I forget what they call it, PMI or BMI or something. What do you call it? There's a acronym or something. For the amount that you make off of it after it's all said and done.
Oh yeah, cash on cash, the return on investment, ROI.
Yeah, the return ROI. Ha. Yeah, I'm not an investor, so I don't know. ROI. Yeah, they're always looking for a 40% ROI.
Oh my gosh, this is great.
We work with before, and people I know, like flippers do. That's they're always trying to meet that 40%, and so they of course cut corners and do stuff like
This
that.
guy's laugh is awesome.
You know exactly what you want. That's what I like. I like clients who know they want to begin with, and they're very specific. Because we're detail-oriented people. My wife and I, she's my assistant. My wife's a vice coordinator assistant. She helps me do all the, we need specific information. The more specific you can be, the more likely we're going to be able to locate you exactly what you want. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can literally
Tried to get a word in there, it just didn't work.
We're not bouncing around. The more details, specific details we can get from you about what you're looking for, the more likely we're going to get you exactly what you're looking for.
This is what we're talking about, guys. This is what you're looking for. This is an agent that will go to work for you harder than anybody else out there. He had a listing and he just got it under contract, and he's so excited about going and finding a deal for us, because the hardest part of being the agent is to find the client.
We located, we would do a transaction off market. It would be, it's not like we're listing it. We would find the seller, hey, that's what we usually do. Kind of like a flipper, or even like a wholesale, but we're not wholesaling.
Gotcha.
We would just do a transaction. I don't do wholesaling. I'm not a fan of it.
Sure.
I think, cause I work from Memphis, and I got some real estate agent friends over in Tipton County, which is north of Memphis, and that's all they do is flip. And I feel like they're not doing these poor sellers justice, because they go in and and they're not being honest with them about the true value of their house, and they assign it. Which is, you can do that, but they could have just listed it, or just did a transaction off market directly with their investor or whoever it was, right? But they're trying to make that double closing thing. Now I don't do that.
Sure.
So that way the seller gets as much money as they can, because I want to, even if I'm working both sides, I'd like it to be fair.
For sure.
As much as possible. You need to.
All right, you guys. So watch this. This is the most important thing I want you to take away from the fact, other than just letting the agents talk. I want you to see how I'm going to set expectations about wholesale. It's about calming him down. I'm going to match his tone. So I'm going to talk very, very highly. So if you're listening to this very close here with headphones, then I'm sorry. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell him my wholesale, and he's going to be completely fine with it. His laugh. Watch this.
You need to make money on the transaction. You know what I mean? If you're going to purchase a property, it needs to make sense. So let's say I would go in and be able to give you details. After I inspect the property,
for sure.
Here.
For
and
sure.
I go in. I'm one of those. I crawl in the crawl space, and I go in the attic. I'm looking at the age of the equipment, the age of the roof. I'm looking at the age of the water heater. I'm looking at the plumbing, the electrical. Okay, now I'm not an expert in any of those things, but I'm looking to see if I can, because I need to give you.
Just gonna let him go. Just gonna let him go.
You know what I mean? It just makes sense, and then I can get back to you and say, hey, there's a property. This is what they would like to get for it. This is what's going on with the property. I mean, I give you a list. I say, hey, this is things that I saw, and here's some pictures. You know what I mean? And then you're like, okay, yeah, I like this, and location, and we look up the location as far as what the rental value would be. If you were to fix it up and release it, say you just leasing it, what you could probably get as far as rentals go, and then of course flips, what you could get for it, as is currently, and then of course if you updated this, and this, which we can see needed, could be the kind of updates that you would do on it, whatever it is, whether it be replacing a roof, so we're looking at the windows too. We have a lot of windows. Some of these older properties are 30s and 40s and 50s.
He's such a great
A
guy.
lot of them, man.
Such a good guy.
Depending on the area, they never had their windows replaced.
I don't even know how I'm going to bring up wholesale. I'm going to try my best for you guys. This is going to be good. This is going to be good.
30s house, they got wooden window frames.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about where they're old, and so it's not going to be energy efficient. That's going to be a selling point. sometimes, because we like to, little things. I'm just saying we try to do it that way. And they give you a good, run the numbers for you on the front end as much as possible, and so it makes sense. And give you and of course we don't work with a lot of investors. I've got one from California I list properties for in West Tennessee.
Sure.
He's from California. He's got a guy in East Tennessee. That's where he does most of the stuff. But that's the only one that I've been working with regularly as far as like what
Patrick, this is your agent, bro.
Himself. He has somebody finds them and then he buys them foreclosure or whatever.
He's talking about other clients right now, so this is good. This is good.
After he fixes them up. That's what I do.
That's awesome.
But with you, I don't have to do that legwork. But
for sure.
We like doing the legwork because we find even if you don't want to get it, we'll list it usually.
For sure.
Whatever.
And let me ask you this then, Thomas, too. Are you able to come across properties off market and send it over to us prior to going on market? I didn't know if you said that or not.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. That's what we're talking. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah,
beautiful.
We would. That's what we would do because we wouldn't. Because if I think that it's something that'd be worthwhile to you, I would send it to you and let you know and see what you want to do. You
awesome.
know what I mean? And because and we can work a transaction out that way.
For sure. And then also too, I mean, how do you usually structure that? Like, would you be getting a commission from the seller, or do you want us to pay you on our end, or?
Yeah, I would be getting commission from the seller.
Okay. Sounds good.
It wouldn't be from you. It'd be just like a traditional transaction. That would be like say.
I'm warming it up for the wholesale here.
Same contract.
Sure.
All that kind of same stuff. No double closing. No signing. All this. None of that.
Yeah,
crazy and magic.
for sure. And I want to be 100% transparent. Because I want you to feel like you can trust us, and at any time, like you can call us and we'll just shoot straight. I'm very big on communication. So. Full transparency, we have wholesale deals out in Arizona. I will be 100% transparent on transactions where I don't go in and I won't plan on wholesaling it unless I tell you. But I'll just be upfront and I'll say, hey, this is a number that I can commit to on it, and I'm probably going to wholesale it. But I would put up non-refundable earnest money on the deal, make sure the seller's protected and you're protected. And when I give a number on a deal, I'm 100% committed to it.
That's fantastic, Ryan. I appreciate your honesty. I'm all for that. I don't care what you do with it once we do our transaction, because
absolutely.
I've already facilitated it for the seller, and yourself to get a good deal for them.
Absolutely. And that's what it matters about. I mean, at the end of the day, you're fiduciaries to the seller, and we want to make sure that we're getting a deal. You're helping them and doing what's in their best interest, and everybody wins.
Yeah, that's right. What you do with that house after we close, I don't care. You can do whatever you want. You can assign or whatever, because that's. It just rather, of course, not be in our initial contract.
Sure.
You do whatever what you want on the second part, and you can even have that already set up, ready to go once you close with us.
You got it.
And that way it's fair, and because I need to be fair for the seller as well. So I'm real big on that. Where, we want it. We want it to make sense for everybody. We call it making it. It needs to make sense.
Absolutely.
Because I don't want to rip anybody off. I don't like putting people out unnecessarily. You know what I mean? They need to be wanting to sell their property. And a lot of these properties are going to be vacant too, and not in terrible bad shape, or where we find out that they're going to become vacant. Because we know a lot of independent renter owners, the lessors, that we can locate. Which I know quite a few that own several properties, and they don't run it through a brokerage or a property management company. And then they sell them off. You know what I mean?
That's awesome. Yeah, we'd love to take a look at that.
We know that they got a tenant in there.
And then this is how you politely get off the phone with them. Not that I ever like to tell people like that you should get off the phone with an agent, but we want to be efficient here. If you're going to sit on the phone with a guy like this for 30 minutes, there's a time and a place. And with me on a live with you guys is not the time or the place, just because I want to be able to be as efficient as possible, get this thing all wrapped up. And also so you guys can get into the challenge with Privy right after this. I'll be putting the Discord channel inside here too, so you guys can join. Make sure to sign in if you guys have not. Discord is awesome. It's basically a live chat room where we go in and we are engaging and interacting. I answer questions in there every single day. The other thing too is if you guys are interested in getting Privy, you guys can go into tinyurl.com/get Privy. Use code Zolin for 20% off of your first month. So.
Ryan, that's exactly what that's what we're looking for. I'm big on communication too. If you hadn't noticed, I never shut up. And I like that. We're very responsive. You know what I mean?
For sure.
We don't leave people hanging. Unless there's some thing going on. I was actually out of it the last 2 days. I had a house fire. We were actually leasing.
Yeah, he's still going, guys.
We're in Ashland City outside of Nashville, but we're leasing a cabin here. And Monday morning, at 4:30 in the morning, my house burned down. And
Oh, no.
I lost everything in the house. And I lost 6 of my animals. Lost both of my dogs and 4 of my cats.
No, I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Yikes. This is a call that he needed today.
Went off, we'd all been died from
This is horrible. That's really sad.
That's how the animals went. They all went from none of them got burned up except for my office cat. Everybody, they didn't burn alive anyway. They all died from inside.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take that off speaker. That's sad.
Man, when we woke up, it was about 2.5 minutes before the whole house was. You got the ambulance.
This guy's house just burned down. So what I found is that there's agents that are like this that continuously talk, which is fine. In this case too, obviously there's some personal matters that what I'm trying to do is just kind of be a good human, listen, hear him out. And at the end of the day, like what I'm doing is I'm listening here and also obviously listening to him as well. He's talking about how his house burned down. He unfortunately lost his pets. Him and his wife were fortunate to get out of the situation. Everything happens for a reason. And I mean, this guy just sold the property. I mean, he's grinding. He's doing what he's got to do to survive. And this is the kind of agent that you want in your sphere, not just because he talks a lot, but because he genuinely cares. This is a human being that you want to build these kind of relationships with. And I even feel disrespectful, like talking with you guys. Well, but he's still going. This is what it's about, though. It's these genuine relationships. And this is a guy that I know I could go and have a coffee with. I can go and have lunch with whenever I'm out in Tennessee.
Of course, my truck melted.
Wow.
It burned my truck up. Yeah, we lost everything. All our computers. We lost 7 computers. And all that was in the office. My wife has a laptop and 2 desktops.
Come on, bro. This is gonna be our last call for the day, but if you guys found value in this, I always feel so awkward because I'm like, this is like so new for me. But if you guys found value, make sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications, like this video. More importantly, all I can ask is if you found value, just share it with a friend. The further this goes and the more it helps other people, the more I can go and provide out to the community and the more lives we could change. And also too, the more people that need to work with Thomas, the more people that are out in Nashville, hit this guy up, change his life. Obviously be mindful that this guy is going to take a little bit of time on the phone, but he's an agent that will answer and he's a guy that genuinely cares. So watch this. We're gonna bless this guy today.
Camper, it said, and I said, we're going to see. We're going to lease something right away, But I told him, I said, that's a great idea because I'm a camping guy. I used to be a long distance backpacker or rock climber, and I said, man, that'd be great. I told my wife, I said, man, let's get one of them campers and then put it in one of them state parks.
For sure,
man, and we can be able to my daughter and my kid. My son don't know what the hell's going on. He's 2.5, but my daughter, she thinks we're on vacation. She doesn't get it. Which is great.
Well, hey, Thomas. I mean, I don't know if this would be any value for you or not, but I mean, I have a lot of other connections with other investors and people out in Nashville. Would it be valuable if I were to pass along your information to hopefully get you some more business?
Absolutely, yeah, sure, man. Yeah, whatever you want to do, man. Yeah, absolutely. I tell you what, once we get off the phone line, is this a good number for you?
Yeah, this is my cell.
Fantastic. What I'm going to do is I'm going to send you my business card, my banner. My email address and my pipeline or Popline. It's that button thing where it's a little link where you have all my links in one place. I'll send that to you, and then you can share that with anybody you like, man. I appreciate it.
Of course, you got it. And at the end of the day, I mean, what I'm all about is collaboration, and I want you to feel as if you can trust us with everything. So I do have to pop into another meeting here, but it was an absolute pleasure with you chatting today, and I wish you the best with everything with the house fire and with the family. If there's anything that you need from me or if you come across any deals, this is my cell. So feel free to reach out and I look forward to working with you.
All right. Hey, thanks a lot, Ryan. I appreciate you calling, and same goes to you, sir. You have a wonderful day. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye. Okay. That's how it's done. That's how you handle these conversations. That's how you get off the phone. You're like, hey, I'm sorry. I got to pop off into another meeting. I wish you the best. I got his permission to send out his information. Guys, if you are in the Nashville market, this is a guy I would highly recommend. This is Thomas Miller, 615-917-4158. This guy changes lives. I mean, this guy just went through a catastrophic event in his life, and he needs a little bit of blessing. So for those that are realtors or wholesalers, investors that are out there trying to find an agent to work with, he's somebody I'd highly recommend. This property did just go under contract, but more importantly, he's willing to bring off-market opportunities. So I really appreciate you guys popping in. Hopefully you guys found some value in that call today. We are going to be going in every single week live just to go in and show you guys that we can find deals in markets all across the country. So today we did Nashville. I'm pretty sure we did Ohio. We've done Texas. I'm curious to know what market you guys want to see next week. So feel free to comment below on what you guys want. Also, too, a little side note, because I promoted out the Discord today, just so you guys know, I watched the Discord prior to going on here. So if you're trying to get your market like put up there for next week, being in the Discord and putting it out there first will help your case. I appreciate you guys again staying through to the end. That was quite the call to end it, but I will see you guys next week, and I hope you guys found some value. See you guys.